Eddie thinks he's pretty smooth. He was the one who thought he'd found a way to cover himself legally.
As far as I know, you're 19 years old, right?
Today, Chris Hansen is going to be destroying this creep that thought he was going to get away scot-free. Seriously, this guy thought he was some sort of legal expert, and he thinks he has a loophole that can get him out of getting in trouble for trying to meet up with this decoy. That said, they were less than half his age. This one's wild, so make sure you watch until the very end, and this is also one of the first ever episodes that Chris Hansen ever did. This is seriously before he even had his own series, so this is quite wild. Anyways, without any further ado, make sure you drop a like on the video, and of course, let's just get into it.
He's 34-year-old Eddie, and when he shows up at the house, he tries something none of the others did. Before he'll come into the kitchen, he comes up with a scheme to insulate himself from possible criminal charges.
So yeah, we're jumping right on into it. Today, we're meeting with Eddie, who is approaching the house here, and he's looking mischievous right now, peeking into this doorway. Apparently, he's got something under his sleeve. I'm trying to see what angle this dude has that none of these other creeps have had, because I swear, dude, after reacting to so many of these guys just have about 10 canned responses that they have that they reuse. It's like a crappy old RPG game where there's only like so many dialogue options, and you just end up hearing the same thing over and over throughout your playthrough. I swear, it's like, okay, I've never done this before. I thought they were exactly 18, yada yada. I mean, even in the most recent video, I was shocked. There is finally a new excuse. Make sure you go watch that last episode, by the way, if you haven't. This dude pretended that he was a tutor, which was pretty smart. I mean, I don't want to be giving compliments to these freaking creeps, but you know what I mean? I like to see some originality here. So let's see if Eddie today can bring some of that creativity and originality to the table. What do you got, my guy?
And he tries to get the girl to play along.
Okay, listen, just say something to me.
What do you want me to say?
I say, Rachel, you're 19 years old, right?
I'm not, though.
No way, dude. There is no freaking way that this guy thinks that actually works. Okay, so I'm thinking that his plan is he thinks if the decoy says I'm 19, then that somehow legally, you know, changes the whole situation. I don't really know how that works. I mean, the person's the age that they are. It doesn't matter if they lie to you or not. I mean, it seems like the person is not lying here. The decoy obviously is working with the crew of Chris Hansen here trying to catch this guy, so she's not going to be lying about her age. But he totally walked in here confident as hell thinking, dude, if I get her to admit she's 19, then I'm getting away from this thing scot-free. I dare them to take me to court. I'm going to run up a milli with those lawyer fees that they're going to give me because I'm going to win that case. Like, I'm sorry, dude, but you're not, and this is a stupid idea, but let's see if he keeps going with it.
I say, Rachel, you're 19 years old, right?
I'm not, though. You know I'm not.
I don't know that.
I told you I was 14. You saw it and you typed back to me. What are you talking about?
No.
This is literally just backfiring in his face. I told you I was 14. What are you talking about? Like, oh my god, dude. I wonder what he's gonna do now that his plan is literally crumbling in front of his very eyes. Half of me expects him to just turn away and pretty much anime run outside of the door quicker than we've ever seen anybody dip. But as we know, even when these idiots are faced with like very real evidence that, you know, the decoy isn't real and they're setting themselves up to get in trouble here, much like the guys in the past who have seen, I don't know, there's so many different things. I mean, one dude literally saw the decoy have a wig on and he's like, wait, that's not your real hair. You said you were blonde in the chat rooms. And meanwhile, it was just Dell over in the corner with a freaking blonde wig on. Even that didn't stop the dude. So yeah, I don't know if this is gonna stop him. Maybe he thinks there's other loopholes he can think of on the fly here. I don't know. He seems to be a guy full of ideas. So we'll see what else he has up his sleeve.
What are you talking about?
No. As far as I know. As far as I know, you're 19 years old, right? Rachel, can you read between the lines?
Oh, and how freaking creepy is that? This dude is making my skin crawl the way he's handling this. First of all, he's hiding behind the corner, almost as if there's some sacred law where as soon as he locks eyes with the person, then he's committed. I don't know why he's hiding here in like the entryway of their house, but he's just begging for this decoy to play along. Hey, can you hear me out? I'm trying to get you to read between the lines. You see what I'm trying to do here? Just say you're freaking 19, please. Thankfully, this strategy is still not working, so it's time for Chris Hansen to reveal himself, and I want to remind y'all that there is no way this guy even really knows who Chris Hansen is at this point, because this is one of their first ever episodes they did of this thing. This is back when the entire operation was called Dangerous Web, or part of the Dangerous Web series, and hadn't quite had its own spin-off into To Catch a Predator, so I'm excited to see his reaction as this is whole new territory he's breaking into here.
When I walk in, Eddie admits he was trying not to incriminate himself.
My intentions are not anything, so I just want to protect myself, that's all.
And even the angle that he's like attacking this from just sounds so selfish and douchey. Yeah, I was just trying to protect myself. I don't really care, you know. Of course, I was talking to this kid online and I don't really know what's gonna happen to him. Hopefully they're gonna be safe and okay, but I'm trying to protect myself and make sure that I'm safe. It's like, dude, you don't need protecting here. You were the bad guy that was going to, you know, be the cause of any danger in this situation, all right? It's not the other way around. The only thing he's trying to be safe from is a jail cell, which hopefully he is headed towards very soon.
19, she wrote me that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's right.
On the internet?
Yes.
You want to stick with that story?
That's what I thought you wrote.
You want to see the transcript?
I'm sure you have it.
Actually, she said she was 19. I know I came in here begging for her to play along and literally explicitly said just 20 seconds ago before I knew you were there that she needs to play along with me and that I know she's not actually 19, but come on, I don't have any other ideas here, man. Please work with me.
The fact that Eddie is so cunning doesn't surprise law enforcement experts.
Not only are they not stupid, but they're probably above average intelligent. They can be a wide variety of individuals.
And just this guy's attitude with Chris Hansen right now, he seems like he has this air of cockiness about him that is very strange when you're sat in this situation. I mean, this guy knows he's about to be in deep doo-doo most likely. Again, most of these guys assume that Chris Hansen is a part of law enforcement, as that is probably the first thing you'd expect if you found yourself in these guys' situations, which hopefully zero of you ever do. If you do, man, I don't know what to tell you. It's really weird that you're watching this type of content in your free time. I mean, that's like a chicken getting sentience, going onto YouTube and looking up how Tyson chicken nuggets are made. It's like, you don't want to see that, bro. But anyways, let's see what law enforcement says about this guy and why he's so confident and so cocky, because I'm sure that is a common trend among these guys who think that they're some sort of legal genius, much like this dude. I doubt this dude knows anything about law. He's not a lawyer or anything. I don't know his profession yet he is so confident that he has such a grasp on the law of this situation that he can just get away with it simply because the decoy said to him inside the house that they were 19, even though I'm sure in the chat logs multiple times they stated otherwise, or else they wouldn't have had the guy come over to the house because they didn't have enough evidence.
The fact that you use something like a computer and the internet, and that technology crosses state lines, that can also make it a federal violation. It can be a wide variety of individuals, but a lot of them are well-educated individuals.
Well, that guy said a lot of them are well-educated. I beg to differ, all right? We've seen some freaking morons on this show. In fact, I would say more than half of them are what I would classify as dumbasses. I mean, you're pretty dumb to show up to this thing in the first place. Obviously, you're lost in life, and you are just an absolute creep with nothing going for you. But then when these dudes open their mouth, 9 times out of 10, they just sound so stupid that I'm like, okay, yeah, it kind of makes sense that you ended up here. I mean, clearly you just have nothing going on in that tiny brain of yours, and this guy is one of those dudes. He thinks he's smart, but it's a total Dunning-Kruger effect going on here. Instead, he's just a raging dumbass.
When I confront him, he's ready with a story. Says he's a TV producer doing research.
Where are you a television producer?
I work independently right now.
Oh my god, okay, finally, we have a new angle here. Thankfully, I knew this dude was gonna bring some new meta to the table. A new excuse has dropped, y'all. Let's see how it works out. But this dude claims that he's a TV producer and he's doing, quote, research. Okay, so, This guy unknowingly just said to Chris Hansen that he's trying to do exactly what Chris Hansen's doing, but in a more, undercover type style. That is a crazy excuse if I've ever heard one. Let's see how Chris handles that. I'm sure he's gonna be like, well, yeah, buddy, I'm on TV too. In fact, you're on TV right now. You're not producing, you're in front of the camera. So you've changed your role up a little bit, but yeah, that's exciting. Good career change.
Yeah. You know, it's ironic because I work in television too, with Dateline NBC.
Oh my god, he did it. I knew Chris was gonna be slick with this one. This is where the reveal's about to happen, and this dude realizes that this is much more serious than he ever realized. I also love seeing the juxtaposition of him sat in this chair, so just afraid, and I know he's still cocky. He's still kind of given that air of confidence with Chris Hansen, but I know this dude is squirming in his little boots right now, wondering what the hell is about to happen to him, and as soon as these cameras come out, we're gonna see a shift in his tone. But comparing that to the way that he was smiling when he was sitting there in their entranceway saying, come on, play along with me, you're 19, right? When he still thought that this was going to be a real possibility of him meeting up with a decoy and it not being, a whole investigation that he was a part of. He really thought he was having a great day, and now he just realizes his entire life is ruined.
At first, this television producer appears a bit camera shy, but then he decides to open up.
I haven't done anything wrong at all. If you go into the transcripts, time and time again.
Bro had the go-ahead to leave. I mean, he literally raises his hand and turns away from the cameras. You could have left. You could have tried to save any shred of your innocence here, but instead he's like, no, you know what? Actually, I'm going to turn around and make sure this is right. I'm going to sit down with you and talk about this because you're framing me here for something I didn't do. Okay, I'm just convinced this guy's a raging narcissist that has no grasp on reality because clearly he's been shown that Chris Hansen has the entire transcript here. I don't know if he forgot what he said, but, clearly, again, this guy has said multiple things about what he wants to do with the decoy, about how he confirms that the decoy is somebody he should not be speaking to, yet he's like, yo, check the transcripts, bro, I didn't say anything. And meanwhile, Chris is like skimming through like, oh, here, you said blank my blank up your blank, and then my blank goes in the blank, and it blanks all over your blank. What does that exactly mean? How am I supposed to translate that? Like, dude, you're an idiot, and you're literally just sitting here giving yourself a harder time. Go out and get arrested, please.
I don't know what other conclusion you can search me for a
balloon.
I don't have one on me. I wouldn't have
fun
to that one.
Eddie thinks he's pretty smooth.
Eddie does think he's pretty smooth. He's like, dude, even check my pockets, bro. I don't got anything with me, and trust me, I would use one of those if I was doing what I said in that chat log, all right? You gotta stay safe out here. I love how this guy's creepy, but he's still promoting, you know, safe lifestyles. If there's one thing you can take away from this, it's to, you know, have protection in your life. But man, this little grin is really pissing me off, man. This dude thinks he's on top of the world still, and that he can still weasel his way out of this, and I am telling you that it's not the truth. He's going down for this, thankfully.
For the record, it appears Eddie has worked as a TV producer.
I'm very interested in your story. I think it's a great thing that you're doing.
Okay, so apparently him being a TV producer was true, which I guess doesn't really matter at all, because clearly he was not here doing investigative work like he said he was. Instead, he was the one being investigated. Yet he's walking out of this situation thinking that he totally fooled them all with these lies. Like, just the sheer confidence he still has absolutely pisses me off, and I was not expecting this video to end with him still smiling, but, you know, I was wrong earlier when I said he's gonna be frowning, you know, crying out of this exit. Apparently, he just thinks that he is impervious to the law, and therefore he's still on cloud 9.
It's a great thing that you're doing. I think it's something that you should certainly do more and more, and bad people left and right.
Meanwhile, when it comes to excuses, law enforcement experts say they've heard them all.
And he leaves with a weird compliment for Chris Hansen, saying thanks for what you do, even though, yeah, you're getting guys like me in trouble. I think you should keep doing it, because there's a lot of scary dudes out there. I'm not one of them. I'm an exception, you know. I've got 1,000 excuses as for why I'm not creepy like those guys, and I try to justify it in my brain, but instead, I think you should go after the real bad guys. In fact, I think you should maybe delete the footage from this one. This was a good little practice trial run since, you know, we ran into each other on accident, both doing journalistic, you know, very investigatory work. Just go ahead and delete that footage, and then from then on, you should catch those bad guys, the real bad guys that are out there, unlike me. I'm a good guy.
It's not uncommon for these individuals, when caught dead to right, to try to minimize and downplay and to rationalize and justify.
So yeah, you heard it right there from that attorney dude, or he's like a police guy, I don't remember. But that is very common with these dudes, that they try to justify it. So he walks out. Sadly, back in the day, they did not care to capture footage of these guys getting arrested, so we don't get to see him getting put in cuffs, but you know how this stuff ends, all right? And even if not, his face was plastered on the TV, and everybody who's ever worked with him in the TV networks or whatever he did as his job, everybody in his family knows that he is the true monster that he truly is. And we got some good entertainment out of it. So let me know what you thought of this dude down in the comments below. Shout out to my patrons as always, and shout out to you if you made it to the end of this video. If you did, comment Grim Squad for life, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until next time, peace out.